We're not together anymore.
You're not together anymore. Wait, at what point did this happen?
At what point?
Yeah. So are you separated or divorced?
Divorced.
All right, what's going on? Welcome back to Lola and Ola Abitogun. We got Lola over here. And we got who's this? And Ola over here. So we got this. Well, breaking news is that what's his name again? Gbenro Ajibade and Osas are divorced, and he announced it
on Rubbin Minds.
On Rubbin Minds with Ebuka, right? So we thought we did another video a while back when he basically what he did. Let me show you what he did. How about that? Let's just follow along right now.
Just for those who don't know, you put up a post saying, sort of talking about your ex-wife now, like you say, since you're divorced. You know, she had gone out or something at night and left your child, you said, and didn't attend to her, and came home at 5 a.m. And you said, what sort of mother does that?
And the wife did not respond.
Wife never responded except that she took out his last name on social media.
Wow.
You know, so basically, these things come on our radar when it's marriage involved. So we always like to put a commentary for anybody who are the Gbenros out there and the Osasis out there. You know, maybe one of the lessons that we also will learn from this kind of stuff. The first lesson, obviously, is to what would you say the first lesson is?
Don't go to social media
and
I mean, don't go to social media to hear your dirty laundry. It only expands the negative aspect of your life.
Exactly, I agree, 100%. You know, especially if you're the man in the equation, you don't want to be going to social media.
And actually, the first lesson is whatever the situation may be, don't overreact.
Right, so it's easy to overreact. So not overreacting needs strength. It needs a certain level of strength to be able to do that. But that's what a man should be aspiring for: more strength, right? So it takes strength to be all the way across the world, and then something ticks you off emotionally, and you just want to put that person on blast,
right?
You know. So that was the first of all wrong thing. But they obviously they have other issues. That's a symptom of other issues that they have, but it's making things worse. You know? So we got a couple of clips here. He was interviewed by Ebuka. Ebuka did an awesome job interviewing and getting a lot more out of him than he was willing. I'm talking about Gbenro, that he was willing to give. He just wanted to show up. I'm working now. Don't ask me about my marriage. It doesn't work like that. And if he knows anything about the way these things work, you should share those kind of things, own it. And then people will relate more with you, and then your superstardomness will probably even expand more. Just for owning it, you know. The people are human. You're human like everybody else. Nobody's expecting you to be perfect.
Nope.
So, but if you come off as you think you should be perfect, then we got a problem. So let's play this 4 clips here. We're gonna play, and we're gonna tackle it one at a time, and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so it's the first one.
So just for groundwork now, what's the situation with your marriage right now with Osas?
We're not together anymore.
You're not together anymore. Wait, at what point did this happen?
At what point?
Yeah. So are you separated or divorced?
Divorced.
Divorced.
Right.
Or you were fully divorced?
Right.
Since when was this?
That's how far I can tell you.
It says that's how far I can tell. That's when it was trying not to say much. You know. So, what do you think?
What do I think? What I see is that
what's going on with him that you can see?
His demeanor, it looks like he's on the fence already. Like he came with the intention of, you know, don't ask me those questions. I tell you what I have to tell you, and that's it. Keep it moving. But keep in mind that your most recent, what makes you relevant right now is the bad belly talk that you want to put on social media about your ex. So the questions will always be asked.
Yep. Especially when you're just coming back for the first time.
Okay. From Yankee.
So, from Atlanta, right? Yankee. So here's the thing. If you look at his body language, I'm by no means no body language expert, but I'm probably gonna study it a lot more. But this guy is laying back, relaxed back, with his finger, and it looks like he has glasses on too, dark glasses.
Yeah, what's
on.
with the shades?
So,
I like that.
so that's that to me. Okay, I could be wrong, but I'm gonna study this thing and I mean it. But I could be wrong, but that's a sign that somebody is doesn't want. He has guards up. Basically, he already has guards up. He knew these questions would be asked, and he has his guards up, and he doesn't want to answer. So, but you're married. You put it to the public, but then they're asking you a question now, and then you have to take responsibility.
Right.
That's what a man should do. Take responsibility. And that doesn't mean you're throwing yourself under the bus. You're just saying you're human like everybody else, and unfortunately things happen, and you've been able to move on from that without bringing this negative energy. Is going to be a key thing for your moving forward. You ask your woman, what kind of mother does that?
Yeah.
If I tell you what kind of mother does that, what does that register? How would you feel?
That's disrespectful.
Why is that disrespectful?
Because you're checking me on you're telling me I'm not a good mother, period, to my kids.
I'm so glad you caught that, because I don't want to be saying these things so it doesn't come off as kind of know everything. But I like it when it comes out of your mouth. You're basically shooting down her mother's skills. You're telling her she's not a good mother. You might as well just say you're not a good mother. The worst thing you can tell a mother is she's not a good mother. You know, and especially your wife, you don't want her to feel that bad, but because you're caught up in your own feeling, you say things like that. You know, but Ebuka is a shade master for.
He detected it.
The way he said, he was like, you said, what kind of mother is that? He said it like just in passing. That's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
Yeah. That, in addition to everything else we can suspect is going on in that marriage, would trigger divorce easily. You know.
Yes, a lot of people misunderstood it. I had to take all the bullets and all of that, but at the end of the day, it was for the sake of my daughter. And I feel I wouldn't say I regret it, because it worked for me at that point in time, since it was the only result I had.
See.
So how old is Gbenro?
Oh my God.
Like how old is he? Like less than 30?
Well, maybe I'm assuming.
I don't mean any disrespect.
Is it less than that?
It's definitely
over 30. It comes off to me like he's over 30.
Really? Not with that statement.
Not with the statement. It's like
but it's not about age. It's maturity.
Man, right?
It's maturity that can come at different times to people depending on who they
are.
But that's a maturity thing right there. He said he's basically the victim now because he's taking bullets.
Well, you put this stuff out there. What do you think?
Right. So, but this is how they act, when they're not matured enough, when you go into a marriage not matured enough, which not knowing what all of us do, by the way.
Yes.
You make statements like that, it takes a lot. Some people, very few people that is natural to know how to say those things the right way or to express their feeling without being the victim. So now he's receiving bullets. He's the one that's receiving the bullets. Everybody's against him. But then he's trying to kind of pull back from that to claim
he doesn't regret it.
That he doesn't regret it, that it worked for him at the time. Nigga, the marriage is over. And you are talking about it worked for you. What worked for you exactly?
Nah.
I'm not understanding. Make it make sense, like they say.
Yeah, make it make sense.
Right?
For real.
Yeah. It worked for you.
Didn't work for
and you're having a hard time owning anything and explaining what happened. It's a marriage, things happen in life. We just kind of like grew apart, but she's an awesome human being, but we're going to take care of our lovely daughter. That's a better way to answer because you mean it and you need it to be that way because that's better for you, But
if he keeps saying it worked for him, I can see how people can start thinking, because you got the blue passport now, you're now dumb to go. Like, what exactly worked for you?
Exactly. Negative posts like that never work for anybody. Period.
No, it doesn't.
There's no maybe you're in a very funny kind of way. Maybe that could have worked from there. It doesn't exist. It doesn't work. Period. Negative post about your marriage, your relationships, even if it's your ex-wife. will never work for you or anybody, especially for your children, is no good. So the worst thing you can do in this point in time is not even owning it. Like, yeah, that I was caught up in my feelings.
Simple.
Oh my God! Imagine if Gbenro comes in and said,
Simple.
"I was caught up in my feelings." That was not appropriate, and I want to publicly apologize to my ex-wife, the mother of my beautiful child. You know, that was not appropriate. And you're not saying that to get her back, by the way. It's just the manly, most honorable thing to do, because you're moving on with no baggages.
No, I think that is still in the mood of your father. Like, I'm not apologizing to that woman. That's what it sounds like to me.
I mean, because he's receiving all the bullets.
Which bullet?
Osas is not receiving any bullets. The person who is quiet, who went through that marriage with you, at least 50-50, and is being quiet, didn't say anything, they're not receiving any bullets. Everything is just perfect for her.
Yeah.
Like she's that special type of woman that wants to sign up for a marriage,
right? That will
and it won't work. Right?
Come on now.
So I was being sarcastic. Don't ever be sarcastic as a man. But the point, the point is this, right? You have to own
your
what is clear to everybody. It's not just you that make that mistake. Maybe you think that's just you making that mistake, so you feel a little ashamed. So you rather avoid by saying, "Oh, you know, it worked for me." No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for anybody. It's a fact of life. It just doesn't work for anybody. Posting negatively about your family on social media, the only thing you should have about your family on social media is highlights, beautiful time, Christmas pictures, anything like that. If you have to, in all honesty, if you can avoid, you don't have to. If you guys can be on the same page, you don't have to. But we're in a social media age. If you don't, your significant other might take it against you that you're trying to hide us from the world.
Right.
So, but at least, but don't post negative stuff.
Right.
It doesn't work for anybody. There's no, I'm trying to look for a right word. There's no special situation where it could have worked for you. It doesn't exist.
It's not a win-win, okay? Stop saying that it worked for you at that time.
What worked for you? What do you mean? Did you use it in a court of law to get a divorce, or you use it as an exhibit? Oh, I told everybody in the world, and that was the evidence. Is that some kind of evidence? How did it work for you? I don't understand.
I'm lost.
Okay. So he has some maturity to do. We can't talk about Osas because she's not complaining.
She never said anything. True.
Right? You know, and the best thing you can do, especially as a man, I keep saying that when I talk, I have the right to say that because I'm a man.
Right.
She's not saying that, so don't attack her. As a man, especially as a man, the best thing you can do in any of this scenario that will make you get caught up in your feelings is be quiet. That's the best thing you can do. Like, shut up. Don't go on social media posting something crazy like that.
It's a no-no.
You know? Let's play the last one here, and then we can round it up.
So what are the lessons then?
What are the lessons? That's for my archives. You know, because if you're asking because of the fact you want other people to learn from those lessons, everybody's situation and case is different.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about this. The first thing he said is the regret thing, right? Obviously, we advise that people should not operate from a standpoint of regret. But not having regret is not the same thing of not having lessons learned, and that's why I think Ebuka is a very smart kid. By saying lessons learned, and then he goes, "That's for my archives." You're a public figure. You try to acknowledge in so many different ways. In this video, there's a point where you're saying, "Oh yeah, people recognize me when I'm driving Lyft in the United States of America." You're a public figure, as you've tried to brag about in other times when it favors you, right? But you don't keep the same energy. For your archives. What's the lesson learned? I learned a lot. There's no way you could, even if you don't want to start summarizing. I learned a lot about myself, especially because honestly, in those kind of situations, relationship failed. Really, hopefully, you learn a lot about yourself because you, in every relationship, every relationship, right, and marriage. What you learn the most about is yourself, because there are certain reactions that your significant other will pull out of you.
You'll get out of it,
that you never knew you could behave that way.
Yep.
For everybody, you know, anybody who is willing to own it will tell you that and say, you know, right? Because they pull that emotion out of you because they are the person you've allowed into that space ever before, right?
Absolutely.
But then you're saying, lesson from my archives, and then you now go, I hear this a lot. I want to round off with this before I pass on to you. People say, oh, every relationship is different. You know, there's all this cliche talks that people take overboard. Everything can be toxic, by the way. Everything can be extreme. When you say, oh, every relationship is different, every people are different. When you say that, usually people say that as a defense thing, you know, so you don't judge them.
Yeah.
And I agree, but I'm also telling you that most people saying it are overdosed on it. There's some core things in relationship that's equal.
Similar. Yes.
Similar.
Absolutely.
Our problems as human beings are the same.
Yes.
If you learn this stuff, they are predictable. I see where you're going already before you crash in it.
Yes.
Okay? And I can see your behavior, and I know if your marriage have toxic issues going on or not, or relationship doesn't have to be marriage. I know, because I've been there, done that. Not only that, we've studied it.
Yes.
And there are a few. We have the GPS. You can find this if you go to lolaandlola.com /clothings. If you go to lolaandlola.com, you can pick up some of this. A lot of them there, GPS and all this stuff. All right. There's the core pillars: God, purpose, self. God, a higher being. You just don't be sucked up in yourself. There's a higher self. That should keep you humble so you can relax and know that there are things you don't know in any point in time when it looks like there's a chaos, right? That keeps you centered. Purpose, you gotta have a life of purpose, some purposeful, some kind of purpose you're here that's greater than you. That keeps you busy. If not, you will be answering to everybody that overreacts around you, and you'll be engaged in a lot of nonsense. All right. Then self. You have to have self-respect, you know.
Absolutely.
All kind of self-thought, self-confidence, not needing validation from other people before you can feel whole. Self-sustainability, right? And that's what GPS is about. If you have that, these three core things, they are core. The God part of it is actually unconditional love. Love is enough. If you understand it as unconditional, if you are looking at it from an expectation standpoint, you're right. That type of bastardized love is not enough.
It's not
you're
enough.
Absolutely right about that. The in-love experience is not enough. You're right. You have to be deliberate about love at some point. If not, that butterfly thing will wear out.
Yes, sir.
So, with that being, there's all this cliche thing like love is not enough. Like every relationship is different, so you can't judge based on yours. We know, but still, okay.
It sounds like everyone took classes from the same place.
Exactly, because they nitpick what favors them in time to justify.
To justify the actions.
Listen, we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect, and that's why you must pay attention to these things. Okay,
yes, it's real.
There are some core things that's equal that people can learn from you. From your failed marriage doesn't mean you failed as a person. If you know that, if you have that self thing on point, you will know that a failed marriage does not mean you failed as a person. But you will take away all kind of lessons and be willing to share it, because when you teach, you learn twice. This is our form of therapy here, right? When you teach, it's like a repetition, like it sticks, you know, it becomes a part of who you are. You know, you engage, you talk about these things, you get comfortable talking about it. A lot of couples are not comfortable talking about this kind of thing among themselves because it's awkward, you know. You gotta get through that, because if you don't, things you don't know can destroy your relationships. You know, so yeah, I thought it was he didn't learn any lesson, but we learned lesson from him talking. From Ebuka just asking some light questions. Very beautiful questions. And we learned a lot from that. So sorry, Gbenro, I know you didn't learn anything, but we learned a lot about what not to do as a man, and I hope people that are watching learn not to. And I hope that you will come across this video and take it to heart and use it in your next relationships. You know, you try to pretend like you're calm and cool, but you're not, because what you're saying was saying a lot. You know? And words are powerful. Words are very powerful because it tells a lot on you. You know, about that's about it, right?
Well, my own fear for him actually is that, like you said, he clearly hasn't learned anything. He's still there acting like...
Has he acknowledged?
As he acknowledged,
for his archives, that doesn't
exist. Say
exist.
it. He said it himself. But my fear for him is he's going to take the same baggage into another relationship.
No, he's probably that kind of guy that I say, I learned not to be with that kind of stupid girl.
Oh, okay.
But it's at the back of his mind. Yeah, but that's not helpful for you.
Yeah.
Because if you call that stupid, I don't know her, but chances are all those women out here are stupid. Then there's a lot of stupid people, and that means you haven't learned anything. That means you're gonna end up with another stupid one.
I just feel like if you call your spouse stupid, which he didn't say,
no, he didn't say that. Yeah.
That makes you even more stupid. So,
but I've had friends that were in a bad place, like and they
chose that stupid person. That's my point.
Yeah, but they learn not to choose that stupid person again.
And then
that's
the problems will come in a different form, right?
It will come in a different. The same problem will come in a different
relationships.
Form. And maybe that's why I can agree with him that every relationship is unique. You're right, but there's a core few things you can learn that's applicable in every relationships.
That's right.
Every relationship, right?
Yes.
So I don't understand English. It's not my mother tongue.
It's okay.
All right.
Relationship.
That's that. Hopefully that was enlightening, educational, and don't forget, download the book. It's free. PDF.
Get My Marriage Back.
GetMyMarriageBack.com. And we have all these shirts, beautiful shirts. We have all kind of, commitment type of. She came up with a few committed stuff.
Yeah.
What do we have there? Faithfulness, commitment. What else? Some other slick ones there.
Yeah.
Go check them out. Go to Lola and Ola.com/.
We put AF there for a reason. Yeah.
What does AF means?
As what?
No. As faithful.
Faithful as faithful.
As free. Freedom. As in freedom. As in freedom. You gotta love in the way that people feel free.
Absolutely.
And, I understand people can be. I've been in that exact situation where my wife was away and anxiety caught me and it completely destroyed us.
Yeah.
Anxiety would destroy always. You have to trust God. If you're lacking trust in your significant other, then it's time to tap into trusting God.
That's right.
Because your significant other cannot carry that weight. It's too much for a human being of any sort. And then naturally over time, once you guys build something solid, that trust is natural. But if it's not natural, then don't beat yourself over the head. You're human. Trust God. Pass. And then avoid all kind of anxiety-driven behaviors, like posting stuff on social media when you're hungry about your own family, right? Either man or woman, you should not do that.
It's not good.
But a man doing that is like completely like a no. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Post nice pictures. That's beautiful, nice, good time pictures. Trust me, everybody knows that that's just highlights. They know. If they're wise enough, they know. Don't. We should show them the bad part too.
No. It's going to expand. Don't do that. We're just keeping it real. Until your marriage is over, you know how really gets.
Your marriage is really going to be over.
Yes.
So I wish Gbenro and Osas best of luck. It's okay. It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
No, it's
really.
not.
It's not.
We've seen people that are divorced that came back again. You never know.
Yeah.
It's a growing process.
Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. We'll see you on the next one, and peace.